Media from Japan and America have completely taken over the world, and recently, even Korea has entered the mix by retelling the same power fantasy and romance story 1,000 times. But if you told me China, the country Speed discovered, was going to take the elements from all of them and create far and away the most unique piece of media of the past 10 years, I would say, 你好昆然我夸他哇杨玉西一西西我一下西就让你西仔细不在有一西西
That's gotta be racist. There's no way.
This is 2B Hero X, the anime with 1,000 different art styles making for trippy fights that come together with intense music, flashes of color, and art direction that makes you go, are we sure we're not watching Arcane? And while it does look daringly similar to the French studio Ferrucci, it is not the same. But what is the same is the insane level of production. We're talking about something backed by Aniplex and Bilibili, the Chinese YouTube, something that has music composed by Hiroyuki Sawano. Oh my goodness, my pronunciation here is so fucking racistly bad. You know, the guy who made the music for frickin' Attack on Titan, Kill la Kill, and Solo Leveling. And if you think that's crazy, this cast is gonna give you a crazier mind break than your favorite hentai. We're talking about Light's voice actor, Tanjiro, Rems, Kirito, Shanks, and even Spike. Thank you, Genghis Khan, for your conquest because you have blessed us. But seriously, China has had a major splash on anime in recent years with the hit Mystery in Link Click, the wild story of Scissor 7. It's gotten to the point where the term Donghua is common now. I didn't know what it meant until I was scripting this video, but it means Chinese anime if you didn't know either. But China hasn't come out by buying big popular IP like you would expect most companies to do when making an entry into a new market. I'm talking about you, Netflix. But you have to tip your hat to them for taking this risk on an original story. I mean, look at this art. But part of me thinks China has gone this route solely as a method of better marketing, because I swear, every other day, one of those grifter Twitter accounts will be like, holy shit, this Chinese anime has straight hands, and then proceeds to link the most badass fight since Rem vs. Dementia. But what we have in 2B Hero X is not just some outstanding show of production, but instead it is legitimately the most unique take on superheroes across any medium. And most seasons of anime have one or two projects that are cool for a couple episodes and then disappear into obscurity. And that's not the case here at all, because in my opinion, we are looking at the best new anime of the year. And look, I'm gonna be honest, in all my reviews I say this is the best anime of the year, or this is the anime you need to be watching, or this anime will get you a girlfriend. Okay, nobody believes that last one, but this time I genuinely mean it. 2B Hero X has finally got superheroes and anime right in ways that all others haven't, and not only is it accompanied by some of the best production of the year, but also has one of the most dark, the most gritty, and the most real story we've seen. It's something that understands why superhero media is popular, taking things from My Hero, The Dark Knight, and The Avengers, but then flipping their concepts on their head.
With great power comes great responsibility.
What if superheroes cared about status?
Just like the rest of you. I'm stronger. I'm smarter. I'm better. I am better!
Most importantly, more than anything, it was the first to ask, what if superheroes couldn't control how strong they are?
You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Now that sequence was well and cool and all that YouTube video SE shit is all cool, but what the hell does that actually mean? The coolest part of 2B Hero X and the anchor to it all has to be the power systems. Because what determines the strength of the superheroes is not how hard they work or what powers they were born with. It's based on a trust score everyone has, and based on how much the public trusts you, your strength can go up or down, meaning it can fluctuate. And I know this sounds like if you took The Boys and Black Mirror and made a baby out of it. For one, that would be a pretty fucked up baby, and two, if you told me the elevator pitch of an anime was a superhero show mixed with Black Mirror and The Boys with the budget of a small country, I would say that sounds like a pretty epic base. And just in case you wanted a little more incentive, your trust score also determines where you live in this hero tower. Now just think about this combination alone. The whole concept of the score affecting public opinion is something straight out of Black Mirror, because it brings superheroes to gods, the perfect people of the world, down to our level, where they manipulate the people that put their faith in them only so they can grow stronger. Then you have an element of a show like The Boys, where it's hyper-realistic superhero setting where heroes have trauma and they're evil and are ruthless, and the elements of that shine here, with elements of capitalism where heroes sign to agencies, and those agencies want their star to pop, blurring the lines between superhero and idol media. And as we know, businesses will do anything for money, me included, so if I get sponsored by BetterHelp, no bitching, alright? Y'all are gonna sign up and use their promo code. I don't have one, but if I did. And lastly, going the Hunter x Hunter route by having your strength dictate where you live in a tower? And look, There's nothing deep there. That shit is just really cool. Like, I know when you were 15, you thought these concepts were the coolest things ever, and guess what? They still are. Now, a lot of these principles are based on flipping the popular themes of popular superhero media like Spider-Man and Batman and Avengers, but we're gonna dive into how it undermined them later on because we're getting a little too analytical here. I was trying to move like one of them anti-Twitter users. I apologize. Let's just jump into the story and get ready because as every YouTube title says nowadays, TBHX story is straight hands. The story begins with us following Ling Ling. He's a normal salary worker who makes shitty ads, just like how I make shitty YouTube videos, and he takes a stroll on top of his building until one of the most popular superheroes, Nice, just decides to... Yeah, he can fly, by the way, which makes this even funnier that he jumped off a building. Just saying. And what ensues is Nice's agency freaking out, and on the fly, they decide to swap the two, where this average salary man is all of a sudden one of the most powerful superheroes in the world. And this is where that concept we just talked about comes in, because the public controls your strength. If they think he's nice, then he's nice. And immediately, oh, this is so good. Like, this is so good. Immediately, they put him in a challenging situation. Nice has a show schedule with his girlfriend Moon. And the interviewer is a superhero, and he pretty much immediately sniffs out that Nice is not nice, and forces Lin to take a lie detector test on the spot in front of his girlfriend and in front of the world. And remember, this dude worked on ads for superheroes, and through that, he became a gooner of all gooners, like the Michael Jordan of gooners. When the interviewer asked him if he actually loved Moon in the test, when he said yes, he meant that shit. And what ensued after that was just a bit of fan service. No, not that fan service, this kind.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
And what a first fight. Our boy was making shitty ads, and now he's throwing down in front of the world with all these fans and attention. And because I'm making shitty videos, can you leave a like and subscribe so maybe one day I can be like him? But this video is more than an introduction. There's more going on here because it established to the audience there's two worlds in this anime. That of normal people and that of superheroes. Things like the interviewer immediately knowing Nice wasn't nice and not putting it past agencies to do this type of thing for ratings. Then this guy broke out of nowhere and he's just going tearing shit up and nobody really cares. This world is so clearly dystopian, but having strength based on perception plays with the issues of today's world that makes it a lot more relatable, and honestly, it just makes it really cool. It's kind of got like this cyberpunk vibe to it, all while understanding what makes characters like Batman, Iron Man, and Spider-Man so interesting, and we'll get into that all a lot more later on. But I recently rewatched a full Dark Knight trilogy. One of the lines that rings true is, it's not who you are underneath,
but what I do that defines me.
Now, TBHX takes that concept, but instead interprets it like your average grifter would. Who cares why superheroes do what they do as long as they protect people? Does their intention even matter? Which is a concept that gets heavily challenged. Like I was saying, all of the people on the superhero side of the world know what's good. They understand it's all a business at the end of the day. So Moon finds out immediately that Nice isn't nice and is actually pretty happy that Nice is dead, which is once again showing us this is a super dystopian world. But of course, the agency still wants to keep the veil that Nice is still alive, and one of their big selling points and products is the relationship between Nice and Moon, lending there to be a bit of dilemma because, as the kids would say, Moon here crashes out. The agency proceeds to lock the two of them in the room until they agree to continue their relationship because this woman is insane. But she's also that free-loving Hakuna Matata type, so when she's forced to love someone, it kind of makes sense that, you know, this free spirit wouldn't take that too happily. And the way they portray this is by using its art style to juxtapose and help you understand her character, because look at how they're showing her backstory with all these colors, this really childlike art style, and cool animations. And then they cut to this super muted luxury apartment that her and Lin are trapped in. Pretty cool concept that things like Spider-Verse and Arcane use all the time. And this idea that superheroes may not actually want to do their job but are bound to due to the public's trust in them and being a public service is pretty fascinating. Not only does it teach be careful what you wish for, but it plays on the same things that influencers and creators talk about all the time. You start as a small creator, putting your art out into the world, but the bigger and bigger you get, the sponsors start coming in, the employees start building up, and you may have just had a small goal of helping people or putting something out into the world, but you've diluted your ideals and put on so many masks that you don't even know what your true face is anymore, and you have so many people you have to appease, you forget why you started in the first place. And now Moon kinda got that problem, except she knows exactly how many masks she got on and she wants to pry off all of them. And after actually connecting with Lin on some complete Stockholm Syndrome shit, like my goodness, they fall for each other, but they devise a plan to rip off all their masks by having Moon die. And this not only leads to one of the best action sequences of the year, but one of the best displays of rivalry in superhero media and one of the most unique rivalries in anime. So Moon's death is all approved by management, and they say the best place for Moon to die will be at the wedding of Moon and Nice, so they get the most money out of it and the attention gets put on Nice and everyone feels bad for him. So during the wedding, Nice's arch rival Rek is gonna come in and kill Moon, because Rek is also a part of the agency, but things don't exactly go that way, because you see Rek immediately knows Lin is Nice, and also crashes the hell out. It says screw the plan and tries to kill him because you're not gonna believe this. The real Nice, the OG Nice, and Rek, although they were nemesises on the screen and they hated each other supposedly, they were lovers off the screen. Okay, officially they were best friends, but like, come on, look at this. Some people don't even look at their wives like that. Like, are we being serious? But this is just another wrinkle in the premise. Rek is not even a bad guy. He probably wished he could be a normal superhero, but he solely existed to help prop up Nice. And although that sounds like a sorry existence, he learned to love it all and love his life, building a relationship with someone he probably never thought he would. So when you rip that away from him, the only thing you can describe his reaction to be is a...
Takes is one bad day, just one bad day.
This art style and music felt right out of the comic book. This level of immersion, it feels like you can only find it in Attack on Titan and Dandadan, where a fight is so visually interesting and thematically compelling and synchronized with production that you feel like you've fallen into your imagination. And the conclusion of the fight leading to Moon successfully fake dying with the soundtrack once again being killer because Lin puts the performance of a lifetime in, it's so good, so real that you realize that he isn't crying that Moon is dead, he's crying that he can no longer spend time with her, all while satisfying the agency by making Nice an even bigger figure because he's so sad that his partner died. And you realize the complexity of this show in just one episode. Or so you think, because the next episodes that follow up, I think showed that this isn't just a good anime because it has a weird take on superheroes. These next few episodes show that they know exactly what it means to be a hero, even in the traditional sense, and that this is not some gimmicky show that you'll just forget about and be like, oh yeah, that was cool for a couple episodes. Like, this is where things get real. This is where things go from good to great to holy moly, Jesus Christ, we need more of this. When you think of what it means to be a superhero, you think of someone that's brave, someone that's relatable, someone that proves that you can do it, starting off weak and becoming strong, and most of the time it's through an event where they all of a sudden get powers. And the whole challenge of making movies like this is making them relatable, because the fact that you get powers because of like a radioactive spider is kind of like, you know, like hella convenient. But the reason he is relatable is because it's not about the powers, it's not about his struggles with the mask on, but the mask off. And when you think of how similar that is to shonen protagonists, who similarly enough have chosen one narratives, but still can be relatable due to their ideologies, their beginnings, their interactions with other characters, it's safe to say that what makes people connect to characters isn't really their endpoints, but their journeys. Now, what the hell does that have to do with anything? Am I turning into Socrates? I'm analyzing things. But wait, I got something for you. This is Firm Man, and he's only 2 inches hard, but maybe 3 inches on a good day when you squint.
What did he say?
Oh, I'm sorry. Firm Man is the number 10 hero. He doesn't really want to be a hero anymore, and his powers are exactly what they look like. He's insanely strong, but his back is so messed up, he can't even shit anymore. Despite that, he is the symbol of strength, the person that embodies being a genuine hero. In every capacity, his body is beat up like a gooner in December, his will is broken, but every time he pushes himself to save others, but he finally meets a situation where he either needs to drop his statue, the symbol of his work and the symbol of his values, to save a child, and he freezes. He has a momentary lapse of judgment, which causes him to realize how much the world has altered him since he's chosen to become a hero. And that, in essence, is what makes heroes so interesting, because
the one thing they love more than a hero is to see a hero fail, fall, die trying.
Now, failing can mean a lot of things, but seeing how someone breaks and if they're gonna recover is what makes a lot of narratives so interesting. It's also like really messed up. Like, I think a lot of us are a little cuckoo caca and want to see people more down bad than us, and we especially like seeing it when someone is better than us and then they turn more down bad than us. Now, while Firm Man did fall behind Nice in the hero rankings, what happens to Nice is the other side of what it means to be a hero, and my favorite moment of this series so far. The villain from episode 1 is back, where he exposes that Moon is still alive and that the world of heroes is alive. lie. Much like in real life, people believe they're celebrities more than their own fucking eyes. Like, look at this. Why don't we talk about the fact that they're rioting in front of a supervillain because he's threatening to kill their favorite superhero? Like, if someone tied Giga up and put him in front of the whole world to see, my response wouldn't be to go riot. Like, prayers to him, I'll retweet the live stream. But what in the parasocial is going on that you are rioting in front of a supervillain? And because they think it's fake, and because they want Nice to stay put, every time he goes to help her, he falls down and passes out. And this concept of the people giving you power they use time and time again. For example, Moon's portal gun could only bring her to Nice's side, but when she died, Lin asked her fans to wish her to be able to go anywhere, which is why she disappeared to Tahiti. And while that goes on, this lunatic just beats the shit out of this one hero. And isn't it funny how anime create these loser-like villains that get super strong? And it's a clear self-insert since like Isekai, like the computer science kid is finally getting some representation. And while that goes on, the internal battle between Nice and Lin rages on, and he's trying to will himself to transform back into his old self so he can break free and go help Moon. And basically, he's such a gooner, he manages to do it. Think about this. Him gooning for Moon overpowered his millions of fans that think of him as Nice. Like, think about that. Let that sit in. And what ensued was one of the best action sequences I have seen this year.
If you're nothing about this suit, then you shouldn't have it.
Just because someone stumbles, loses their way, it doesn't mean they're lost forever.
Why do we force? So that we can learn to pick ourselves up.
And begin asking yourself the big questions. Who are you? And what do you want?
This is what being a hero is. Being a hero has nothing to do with strength. If you pay attention, every story about being a hero is about protecting what you care about, whether it be a city, a family, or maybe someone you just met. If what it takes to be a hero is running into a burning building or fighting supervillains, that would tear down the very concept of what makes the genre so interesting. The point of every superhero story is that anyone can be a hero. It can be a dad fixing a car tire or a mom helping you with a project the night before it's due. Being a hero isn't about capes. Being a hero isn't about power. Being a hero is about inspiring others, standing up for those who have less, and, well, all that stuff is good, but beating the shit out of people can't hurt either. Seeing Lin inspire everyone and win them over by just being a regular guy felt like it took the principles of what makes some of the most popular genres of media so great into a single scene. Just when you think it's finally turned into a feel-good story, just when you think we're about to get a happy ending with Nice and Moon, this happens. So that's a cliffhanger, and there's 2 more episodes from there, and it follows the new main character. Now I'm going to talk about that stuff a little bit, but I don't want to spoil. It follows a similar structure of following a powerless guy, but it's executed in a way that's completely different. It feels so scary and eerie, and just as interesting by showing the side of the world from someone who's not a superhero and what it's like for someone who has 0 trust score. And it's mini arcs like this that can go a long way in this 24 episode series, and half the characters from the trailers and stuff are yet to appear. I mean, the flagship character isn't Nice, it's this guy who is Light's voice actor, and he's also like not really in the show. But to have these episodes run where you show a journey from a normal guy to an indie hero to a superhero, modeling the run of influencers and content creators while being consistent with what makes superheroes, this is the most important part of the series, because now we have reference for what life is like now that we have the perspective of an average person. Now is the perfect time to glaze the shit out of the animation and art style. If you're a shonen only guy and this is your first jump into something different, you might need some time to adjust. But if you're just like me who watched so much slop, so much shit that makes you realize why people think AI will take over, this is such a joy to watch, because the directing is reminiscent of Kaiju no 8, Dandadan, and AOT, where we see shots of scale, we see perspectives that are different, and we see the unification of music and camera movements that's really hard to find. It seems nowadays in the 2020s, anime has chosen production to be the main battlefield, where in the 2010s, things like Akame ga Kill, Tokyo Ghoul, and Madoka Magica were all using tone and concepts as means to stand out. And if production is the new battlefield, getting into that fight with China is just crazy. We're going to be seeing so many new shows of this quality, and this is also the best concept of the year. So if you enjoyed this video, check out the best bad anime of all time. And don't forget, we're just getting started, we're going to stay consistent, and I'll see you in the next video.